She's here. Hello
Hi.
there, Smriti. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Rohan. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Is this your first Facebook live session?
Yes, that's right.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get right into it. I was just telling a viewer there that she'll be here and she'll be talking about her new book. It's called What If? And of course, the earlier one was Pihu, and a similar genre. It's about spirituality, finding a larger meaning, of course. But before that, uh, you can introduce yourself to our viewers and all those who are watching.
Sure. So, hi everyone. I am Smriti. Um, recently started writing and started sharing what I had because always I had these questions, always I had these thoughts which I wanted to pen down, and I always maintained a diary where I used to put this stuff. But then I thought, why not like really print it, share it across, and get some views from everyone else as well. It just feels good when somebody reads it, comes back to you, tells you how you find it.
Right.
About myself, I'm an engineer who then decided to get into marketing. Went to IIM Bangalore, got to work with J&J, then Unilever. Currently, I'm with Google, so that's the part of my professional life. But then I am I follow spirituality, I practice spirituality, I read about it, and that's where
Okay.
all these questions and these answers sort of come from, which I'm
Okay.
trying to share now. Yeah.
I love the way you very casually said Google. Awesome to know that you work at Google and so many other corporates. Tell me something. Do you get the time? Because I'm sure they make you work really hard at Google. I'm sure.
That's true, but yeah, when you really want to do something, then you have your
Okay.
weekends, you have the early mornings, you can figure things
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the book straight away. You have mentioned that a lot of physics and philosophy was involved in writing the book, of course, and in your inspirations. Um, I I would love to know more. I mean, and of course, the people who are watching, uh, what did you mean by that?
So it's it's like I've always had those questions around why the world is the way it is. Why do we behave the way we do?
Right.
What purpose is of our life here? It can't just be that, yeah, we just present and we just live for some 80, 90 years and just go away. This must be something more. And then more about that, why are the things in this particular way? So being an engineer and coming from a family where science is worshipped, the first
Right.
go-to thing happened to be physics,
Okay.
where so be it physics, be it mathematics, be it probability, like those were my the initial thoughts, and that's the space that I started to explore first.
Okay.
So
Okay.
more on the tower of physics space. uh,
Right.
then I got introduced to spirituality, which initially I didn't think that I would start finding my answers there. And then I started
Okay.
exploring those. I started reading theosophy. I started reading, now I'm even reading our old scriptures, and started finding
Okay.
answers there, and also started finding commonalities between the two. So that's why I always
Right.
feel that it's a combination of physics and philosophy which draws me in, and somewhere
Okay.
between them is the sweet spot.
Okay.
What Pihu was a lot more spirituality. What if
Right.
is somewhere where this engineer inside me and this
Yes.
spiritual aspirant inside me are coming in together? So, what if is more in
Right.
that space?
I love the technical references all throughout the book. There were so many technical references. So immediately I could figure out this is an engineer. I didn't have to read your bio. So that was amazing. Uh, Tell us a little bit. I was so happy that you named the cool character, the bohemian sort of character, Rohan. I'm so happy. I mean, I was ecstatic. He was the cool one always.
That's true.
Was there any real life inspirations? Because the story is kind of very simple, but it strikes you. I'm sure it will strike everyone because it's a very sort of relatable story. This might happen to so many of us.
So, of course, there are inspirations that come from real life, my own life, or something that I see around me, instances that I see, and I feel that, okay, this shouldn't have happened, or wow, somebody behaved in a particular way, then great, this
Right.
is what they did. So, yes, I have like put things together. A lot of them are the things that have actually happened around me for sure. And then some of them are those where I sort of extrapolated them to see that if this has happened, what could have the background been, or how could have it had moving forward. So it's a combination of the two.
Right.
But the thing behind this was that it is a simple story, which can be, or which actually is true with a lot of us. We all start getting into that space. We all
Right.
lead this story often in our lives, and I
Right.
wanted it to be relatable, and I'm happy that you said that. Yeah.
Right. Because I found it very relatable because you have talked a lot about startups also and whether to not all as well. How difficult is that choice? And of course, with life also. I mean, it is you have intertwined it in such a beautiful manner that I was like wondering whether I am reading a Rashmi Bansal book or it's very sort of. I
Thank
mean
you.
that as a compliment because she's really good.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, she is.
so tell us about this comparison throughout the book about getting a regular corporate job because you are in one, and then of course a startup which involves a lot of risks, and so a little bit about that.
So actually, there are three in that sense. There is this regular, stable, and a great corporate job. Not
Right,
just a corporate job, but a really great one.
right,
Then yes, a
right,
startup which
right.
is full of energy, uh,
Yes,
highs and lows. But then there is risk, and then there is a third one where there's a possibility to explore the artistic, the creative side of
yes,
you. You
yes,
don't know what the
yes.
future is going to be, but that's also a
Yeah, yeah.
possibility.
Mhm.
So these are the three things which were closer to me, which are things that I have seen. But the fact is that it could be anything else. Anyone could have these
Right,
multiple possibilities in their lives
yeah,
that, yeah, we could
right,
have chosen at any point in time. It could be about what job we want to do, what place we want to stay in, anything. There's so many decisions that we take in our lives,
right,
and there are such clear. Oh, like your mind is split between the two, and then you weigh the pros and cons. You decide that, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
right,
So, yes, job,
right,
education, which institute do I join in? Even before that, when we are younger, what do we want to do?
right.
Want to pursue science? No, I want to pursue arts. What do you want to do as you grow
Yeah,
up? There's so many questions that come in,
right.
and
Yeah,
at
true,
that time you
true.
just go with what you feel, what you believe at that time is the right thing. But yes, the
Right.
possibility, the other what ifs always stay.
Yeah, right, right. The of course we won't be talking about the ending, but that was quite beautiful. I mean, what was the purpose of it really? Because was it closure or was it more questions? I was like mind boggled at the end. So that's why I wanted to ask you.
So it was mainly about saying that, see, this is what happens. It's what happens with
Right.
everyone, but also
Mm.
to really, it's in a way demonstrating that, see, you see how this person's life goes. You
Yeah.
relate to her. You are like that. Yes, this happens with, and then you also
Mm.
see how, in this is how it is, how as you read it, you know that this should not be happening. But yeah, it happens to me, then that means there is something I
Right.
need to do to ensure that I don't do it again. So the point here was to raise those questions, which are so relatable, but also to show that
Right.
how stupid this
Yeah.
route is, and it is something that you can correct and you
Yeah.
can stop yourself from doing. The entire purpose is that
Right. Right.
after reading this, if we stop falling into this what if loop, this what if syndrome, I would
Trap.
feel
Yeah.
that yes,
Yeah.
something good has come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell our viewers a little bit about Annie because she is at the center of everything. The inspiration behind the character, or who is she really? So a little bit about that.
So the character, this person Annie, she is a really, really strong individual whose rational brain always sits in the front, who always thinks through what she does. Not an impulsive person, completely logical, completely rational. So she has really thought through everything. Um, and she's not someone who overthinks. She's someone who has very clear ideology. She's someone who has very clear yes and no, rights and wrongs in her mind. And she, in a way, thinks in a flowchart, follows those steps. And whenever there's a situation, she's like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I have to do. This is right. This is wrong. She's not cold, but she is strong because of it is also possible that yes, you might think through everything, but when it really comes to living that, one falls flat because
Right.
then that is where then the strength comes in. So there is intelligence and then there is that will or the determination or the strength that has to balance that intelligence. She has them
Right.
both.
Right.
Uh, and that is why when this person starts to question, uh, that's when the things become more complicated. That how and why can even a
Yeah, it
person who
was.
is this strong, this clear, really fall for this? And if she does, then what happens? And how a perfect life can also, like this one question, can just disturb a perfect life. I think I got
Of course,
inspired by my
the
grandmom.
readers.
She's a super
Oh,
strong
awesome.
person. And yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She's not there anymore. But yeah, but yes, so
Okay.
she's someone who I would always feel would do the right thing. And she was
Okay. Okay.
completely strong in terms of like when she believed in something, she would just go ahead and like, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, women are like that in general because I don't know a lot of men who are that sorted. Anyway, so tell us about your writing ambitions. Because you are an engineer, you're a marketeer, you've got one of the best jobs in the world. But what is your writing ambition? What do you really want to achieve with this? And are you going to skip genres because you seem very passionate about this space?
As of now, uh, I would, yeah, I do plan to write more, and I do plan to write something in this space,
Okay.
which will revolve around
Okay.
spirituality in some way. Uh, might move. I mean, the
Yeah.
way this thing is presented might change a little. So I have some thoughts in my mind about what I'm trying to write next. Moves a little more towards
Okay.
science fiction, but it's still at the core
Yeah.
of it is spirituality, answering a question which is deep inside,
Okay.
answering a question about life, about how the
Right.
world behaves. But like this one takes a real
Yeah.
life story. Pihu takes a completely fictional story, and what I'm thinking about now is a
Right.
more sci-fi sorts. But again, the spirituality stays. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's great because not a lot of writers are writing in the sci-fi genre, anyways, and not successfully. And of course, not coupled with spirituality too much. So it's kind of a unique space. I wanted to ask you, what do you read up on? Because I'm sure, I mean, I don't know how much time do you get, but do you read up on spirituality much or any other genres? I'm asking because it's the
I
book nerds
read
and
a
people here
lot
love
on
to read.
that. Yes, I read a lot on spirituality and
Okay,
philosophy, so which is similar in the space, just the school is different. So
okay, yeah,
I've read
right,
Blavatsky and Emerson, all of those. And currently, I'm
okay,
reading more like old Indian scriptures. So I started with yoga.
okay,
Amongst everything that I read, nothing matches
yeah,
Patanjali. That is
okay,
just.
right,
Um, I'm
right,
Gita really get deep into it, not
okay,
just a narration or an interpretation of Gita, but really going shlok by shlok for like really getting deep into it. So that's what I'm doing
right,
right now. And
okay,
I want to continue with some of these scriptures for a while now because it's a
okay,
wealth of knowledge sitting there. It's brilliant. It's just
right.
brilliant.
I'm sure. So tell us about Master Choa. Is it pronounced that way?
Yes, yes, Master Chua.
So
So
how did
Master
you
Chua
you
Kutsui,
have
he
mentioned that, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
So
tell me please.
he started or he introduced pranic healing to the world. Pranic healing is a type of energy
Okay.
healing, wherein you use
Okay.
the energies, the chakras, and the auras, and you ensure that the person comes
Okay.
out uh, well balanced and healthy. So it is used for uh, any
Okay.
kind of physical or mental or such issues can be
Okay.
resolved using that. Um, so
Right. Right.
it was around 4.5 years back, and like I said, coming from
Okay.
a family of doctors and physicists, I would have. This is something that I would have never
Okay.
even thought that I would ever think about. Situation so
Right.
happened, a friend of
Right.
mine sort of he just pushed me into go and just experience it for yourself, and I was shocked. I would
Right.
have never even imagined that this exists
Okay.
in this world. And I
Okay.
decided that, okay, I want to know more about it. It was pure curiosity. I just wanted to know a little more because I was like mind blown that what is happening here.
Okay.
I started
Yeah.
exploring a little more around it and the way Master teaches. So he is now more here in the physical world, but the entire school that he
Okay.
has created, the way they teach is
Okay.
it gets into very details about everything. So you get to understand how
Okay.
things work, how your body works, how the energies work, how the world works, and and then he would
Right.
tell you that what all books you can refer to, what all can you
Right.
read up upon this, and then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. That's how I was
Okay.
introduced to spirituality, to healing.
Okay.
And once the
Yeah.
journey started, I just don't even want to look back. I mean,
Awesome.
it's just a different life for me now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Tell us a bit about your writing routine, because there are some people who want to write, but what happens is that they uh, have a lot of excuses. I mean, they don't have time. They say it. I mean, but they don't have time. They have a plot, but they eventually end up not writing because it's a lot of words. Although this one, What If, is a short one, but I'm
Yeah.
sure the concise books are even harder to write. So how do you get time, and what's the mantra?
It's just, I mean, as they say, where there's a will, there's a way. When you really want to do it, it just happens. So, uh,
Yeah.
like, I am not someone who would normally get up very early. I love to
Okay.
get up
Okay.
comfortably,
You take your time.
but when there is this thought
Right.
in my mind, I know that there were
Right.
this longish period when I would get up in the morning, pick up the book, and I was like, okay, I need to
Right.
start editing it again because, like you said,
Right.
to make it shorter and crisper, like the book
Yeah.
starts out a little longer and then you just
Of
keep
course.
cutting it,
Yeah.
snipping it here and there, and you're like, okay,
Right.
I need to make it crisper because this is not needed, this is
Right.
not adding value. So I remember
Yeah.
those days of editing when I would get up very early, start doing it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's more about that when you really decide, when you've decided upon something, things
Right.
start to work out. But like I said about Annie, I think somewhere it is about your will and wisdom coming in together.
Okay.
Once you have a thought in your mind, when you have that plot, when you
Right.
have that idea coming in together, I'm calling it the wisdom part of
Right.
it, and then a will part
Yes.
of
Yes.
it, which has to balance it, and that is only when you could be able to bring about those results.
Awesome.
Somewhere I
Yeah.
also
Us.
attribute it to so I'm a meditator, and I really feel that that is something which clears your mind and which can help you. I mean, the way your mind starts working and the way you can
Okay.
control yourself, uh, it is much
Okay.
easier as you continue doing that. Like your own control on yourself becomes stronger. So I attribute it to that as well.
Awesome. One final question. The chapters, the headings were quite precise and to the point, and very they sort of gave a very clear-cut idea of what's coming up. Uh, was it difficult to come up with those? I'm just asking because it's tough to, choose those headlines, if
Yeah.
chapter headings, if I might say.
Uh, Yeah, actually, I started with something which was very, very straightforward. And then I felt that no, it's not
Okay.
really, it doesn't have that feel to it. And then I thought that, okay, if I have
Right.
to visualize this, if this chapter was an image in front of me, what it would
Right.
be. So in a
Right.
lot of cases,
Okay.
the name of the chapters is what in my mind that entire chapter visually appears
Okay.
to be, or what the
Okay.
feel
Okay.
behind it is. That's what I wanted to
Awesome.
bring in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I said final question, but I again would come back to Rohan because that was my favorite character in the entire book.
Yeah.
He's so carefree. Do you know that kind of person in your life? I mean, he's so bohemian in his attitude, and he's such a uh, I don't know. He's a very carefree character. So, do you know someone like that, or what was the idea behind that?
So actually, yeah, he's a combination of two people that I know. That's
Okay,
how
that's
I
great.
made the
Can you
character
name them?
together. Yeah, I
Like,
put them together. I would rather not. But yeah, some
so
like
they
two
don't, so they
friends
don't
that I
know.
have and bringing them together.
Okay.
Um, One of them does, but yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah, so that's
Yeah,
how I brought
great.
them together. And yeah,
Right.
even while writing or even while rereading and editing, I always felt that this is a person you can really fall in love with. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. I started falling in love with him. So I won't blame Annie, perhaps. Oh, let's not do any spoilers. Anyways, so thank you, Smriti. It was fun talking to you. It was
Thanks,
awesome reading your
Rohan.
book and looking forward to so much more. Thank you for everyone who joined in. And of course, if you want to rewatch this, you can find this live session on the Booknerds page and of course on Smriti's page. Smriti, can you quickly tell them about your page, the name of the page, so that they know where to
Yes,
find
so you
your
can
the live session?
yes, there is one book. So I basically a personal page is just Smriti Khullar, SMRITI KHULLAR, or the one where I'm just writing about the books is Books by Smriti Khullar. You can look at either of those or the same one on
Awesome.
Instagram.
And all the nerds out there, go there on Amazon, press that buy button, buy a copy, post a review on Amazon. Just a random plugin. Anyways,
Do
so good
share a
night,
review
Smriti.
because that's really helpful for
Yeah,
me to know that what
yeah,
I'm doing right, what
yeah.
I'm doing wrong, and how should I proceed further in my this journey. Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun reading both your books. Awesome. So good
Thank you.
night, and why not ask anybody to post a question if they really want to before we go away?
Sure, yeah,
They
that
can
would be
post a
great.
question. Yeah, why not? If you guys want to ask Smriti something, just post a question. If you
Please
don't
do that.
within 20 seconds, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Or even later,
Ask a question.
once you please read the
Yeah, even
book,
later.
if you want to ask anything,
Right.
you can just ping me on my Facebook or just visit there. I
Yes.
would be happy
Yes.
to connect. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's give them 10 seconds. If there's a question, Smriti will be happy to answer it. Don't ask me any question, just Smriti. Okay, great. Let me check it out if we got a question. Not yet. I don't know. Oh, yeah,
So hopefully
we
later,
got a
once.
question. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Pramila
Hi.
Shukla is asking, since how long you are writing?
Sorry?
Since how long you are writing? Pramila Shukla is asking you.
Year and a half, not too much. So this What If is the second book. The first one, Pihu, is a very, very short story. It's a super quick read. So that is just straight out of our heart. Super. It's a even shorter. And second one, yeah.
Right. So Bala Subramaniam says that it triggered him to ask a lot of questions about his past. So he got into introspection after reading the book. I think he has read the book also on Kindle.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, this is so
Yeah, yeah,
introspection, great. Learning from the past, great. Planning out what you want to do
yeah.
later, great. The only slippery slope,
Right.
which I think it's pretty clear from which is not so great, is looking back, trying to relive it or trying to question it. But I'm happy that
Yeah.
if it's a good
Right.
question, it's
Right.
the only reason I'm
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. So Smriti, I think we should get over with the session, and they can pose the questions later on. So we'll get over with the session, and they can pose the questions later on.
sure thing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Bye.
Okay,
Good night.
thanks. Thanks, Rohan. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye,
Bye.
bye,
Bye.
everyone. Good night.
Bye, everyone.